Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about adapt or vanish. And that's kind of a funny thing to think about, but I'll give you some examples and you'll be able to relate pretty quickly. We're going to talk about how to change the way we view growing the game of golf. So we love golf, right? We love it for a lot of reasons. We love the history, the tradition. As golf professionals, it's in our blood to love those things, the honor, the integrity, all those things that are so near and dear to us that really are part of what we stand for. Honor, integrity, history, tradition, great things to love about the game. Charitable contributions. If you look at the charitable contribution numbers, something to be really proud of in golf. So there's a lot of great reasons to love the game. We have to ask ourselves, because we say it all the time, we say we love the game because golf is a game for everyone. So here's my question. Is golf a game for everyone? Because we're hearing some feedback that maybe that's not exactly the case. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So we say it's a game for everyone, but we know actions speak louder than words, right? So what are we doing to say it, not say it verbally, but to say it's a game for everyone through what we do? Those things are, what's our attitude in the golf shop like? How welcoming are we to people who don't usually walk in the golf shop? Are we pretty welcoming to women, minorities, millennials, all those people who don't usually walk in the golf shop? What's our attitude there? What kind of lessons do we offer? Do we offer a variety of lesson packages that speak to different times of day that people might need to take lessons, and certainly speak to fun and different demographics? Look at your lesson packages. What about the programming? Do we have programming that speaks to everyone? All those things. Do we hire diverse people so that they're role models in positions at our golf courses? And are we finding out what the customers want? Instead of looking at that and saying, we know what the customer wants, here's the program we're going to offer, are we taking some time to find out what that is and then present a program? So here's all the ways that we can say it by our actions, all the things we just listed. So some of you might be saying, great, love this concept, love the idea, but things are pretty much okay at my place. We're okay, we're doing fine, we're moving along, we're making some money, everything's okay. But I will say, there's some other companies that said something like that, and here's 4 of them: Kodak, BlackBerry, Blockbuster, and Borders. Did you ever think that any of those companies would go away, or at least be so non-relevant? I didn't. I assure you, Kodak didn't. When Kodak was dominating film, cameras, anything that had to do with pictures, not for 1 second when they went to the office every day did they think we might not be the industry leader someday. And now they don't exist at all. Same thing with BlackBerry. We all remember when BlackBerry jumped into the cell phone market, and now they're nowhere to be found. Blockbuster, same thing. Borders, online stores now have dominated book sales, where going to the bookstore was the thing to do. So what does this tell us? All those people thought they were fine, just like a lot of us think golf is fine. So again, I don't ever want to forget that golf stands for greatness. I love golf, we love golf, and the one message I always send in the middle of talking about change, in the middle of talking about growth, is that we always have to protect our core. Protect our core golfers, protect our core values as golfers and as a golf industry. At the same time, we can't let those core values or the core golfers get in the way of growing programs and growing the game to other demographics. So that's what we're going to talk a little bit more about. Here's the good news. A lot of people want to play golf, and a lot of people try golf every year. In fact, on average, and these are statistics from the United States, on average, 3.5 million people either try golf for the first time or come back to golf every year. 3.5 million. Now there's 24 million golfers in the United States. That's a big number. That's a lot of people who have said, I'm interested, I want to come into the game. Now, talking about just the interested people, not the ones who have even taken the action to come into the game, studies show us through the National Golf Foundation, 37 million people have said they're either very or somewhat interested. Good news, right? We've got 24 million golfers. We've got 37 million people who don't play who said they're interested in playing. In addition to that, of those 37 million, 3.5 million tried it. And so that's the good news. But wait, here's the not so good news. Here's our bad news. Our bad news is that something's happening in golf. We're not keeping them. Because of those 3.5 million people who try the game, another 3.5 to 4 million people are leaving the game. So what's going on in golf that people get excited about it, they have a great interest in it, and then they get introduced to it and then leave? That's one of the questions we have to ask. So what we do know now through studies is that we don't have an interest in the game issue. We have a retention issue. Why is that? Well, let's look at our picture. We have a leaky bucket. We're putting lots of water in. We've got plenty of people coming into the game. We're losing them on the tail end. We're losing them. Water's falling out of our bucket with holes in our bucket. So let's try to plug up some of those holes and do something about that. So now we're going to ask ourselves, okay, it's simple math, right? We're going the wrong direction. We peaked at 30 million golf participants and in the United States, again, using that as an example, and now we're down to 24 million. Why didn't we address this already? Why haven't we done something already? Why isn't this a bigger issue? Let's do something about it. Okay, well, we're going to talk about that now. But I'm going to answer the question why first. And we're going to do a little exercise to help us answer why we haven't jumped over and just made drastic changes to fill up our leaky bucket. So I'm going to ask all of you to grab a piece of paper and sign your name. And this is just a simple little exercise. Just sign your name like you do it 100 times over the course of months or years. Now, I want you to take the pen that you used, put it in the other hand, and sign your name. Now, if I were in the room with you right now, I would be hearing things like, oh no, I can't do that. Oh, that's not very good. So what we know when we change things is that it's uncomfortable. We don't do it as well. We don't have any confidence. The performance certainly doesn't come out the way we want it to. It makes us moan and groan, and we really would just rather not do it. That's what change is really. So when you think about that little exercise that you just did, that is change in a nutshell. That simple. It's uncomfortable. We don't have confidence in it. We don't know how to do it. We have to learn it. It's going to take us a while to get really good at it. Anything we change is like that. So why do we stay where we are? Because change can be painful. So let's imagine for a second that you sprained your wrist. And you were signing your name, and you sprained your wrist, and you said, okay, what's a little painful when I sign my name with my sprained wrist? But it's not as painful as putting the pen in the other hand and signing my name. So I'm going to keep signing it through the pain. Okay, let's imagine you broke your wrist. Completely unusable. Can't use that wrist at all. What would you do? You'd be forced to learn how to sign your name with the other hand. That, folks, in a nutshell, is what's going on with golf. Golf is not broken, it's just sprained. And as a result of it, we keep doing the same things we're doing, as painful as it can be at times because we're not growing the game. We keep doing it because that is less painful than change. And this really is the adapt or vanish part of it. Adapt, change, even though it's painful, or we will put ourselves in a position where we will be less relevant as time goes by. So let's not be like the 4 companies that we're looking at now. Let's get ahead of it and be more proactive. So who wants change? Everybody, right? Everyone wants to grow the game. Everyone wants to see the numbers grow up. Everyone wants to see more people introduced to the game and golf grow. Okay, who wants to change? Well, that's a whole other question, right? Who personally wants to change? Wait a second. Now you're asking a whole new question. That's different. You see a lot more hands go down and people dropping their heads and looking in different directions. Okay, how about this one? Who wants to lead change? Now that's a whole different story. So what we're talking about now is each of you taking personal responsibility as golf professionals, saying, I not only want change, I want to be change, I want to change the way I do things, and I want to lead change. And that is really what this industry needs, people just like you saying that I'm going to do those things and not being afraid of that change, working through the pain of change. So how are we going to do that? Well, let's talk about why people play golf. Let's just start there and say, basic fundamentals, why do people play golf? They love the game. The game itself, right? The game itself stands on its own. People play golf because they love golf. All right, that's a good reason. They love competition. Some people, maybe they competed in other sports, other parts of their life. Now, golf is their avenue for competition. Time with family, time with friends, time outside, all those things that we know, right? They like being with friends, they like the experience, they like the exercise, it's fun, all those things. I would also have you sit down and say, here's all the reasons that I believe someone plays golf. And then, in addition to the ones I just mentioned, your list, now ask yourself, do I have a program or do I have an offering at my club that speaks to every single one of those? Because if I don't, then I do not have a full program of offerings that will speak to every person who has shown an interest in the game. So we can say, as we said verbally, that we're family friendly, but the only way we really say we're a family friendly facility is through what we offer in our programs and in our lessons. We can say we want more women to enter the game, but the only way we really say that is through our actions, through what we offer, through the programs that we offer. So take a minute, and every time you come up with a reason someone entered the game, come up with a program that will make them feel welcome in the game. And that really is a big part of it, making them feel welcome. Who's our target audience? Well, we got the core golfers, but we don't want to forget them, right? We do not want to forget the core golfers. Protect the core. We've got our social golfers, the ones that are just here, just to have fun, don't care about the score, don't want to keep score, social golfers. Families, women's groups, minority groups, all those folks out there that are just out here, a lot of them just to have fun and be with their friends. We've got the never-ever golfers, the beginners. We've got the lapsed golfers, the golfers who left the game, who now want to come back to the game. And we've got the fitness fanatics. How are we making sure that we have programs that speak to all those audiences? Find out what fun means to every single one of those audience and make an offering for them. And this, remember this when you're thinking about all these things, it's not about the idea, it's about the execution. There are a lot of ideas out there. You need to be the people who take those ideas and execute on them, and that will be the way that you are adapting instead of vanishing. Take some best practices. We've got a list of best practices in front of you now. Do some themed months where it's Introduce a Friend Month, Welcome to Golf Month, any of those things that could be great themed month. Tee it forward, the right tees, alternative golf experience. You've heard a lot of things about 15-inch cups and speed golf and foot golf, weekly skins games, all kinds of things, and you can look at the list now, all kinds of things that you can come up with that make the game fun and continue to be fun for people, where we are adapting and knowing that not everyone wants to play the game exactly the way it was designed, but it's still golf. Put a club in their hand, swing the club, trying to get that little white ball in the hole. It's still golf, and there's a lot of ways to offer it to a variety of people that speak to a variety of people. So the bottom line is we're trying to do things differently. If you think the participation now is fine, then I would say maybe you might see if your wrist is sprained a little bit, because it could be. It could be that you just have grown accustomed to the pain and you're just working through the pain. If you want different results, then you know you have to do things differently. And if you do start to do things differently, then you're going to have to change. And that is a part of it. Adapt or vanish. Well, at least be less relevant. So just think, this is an interesting statistic. 65% of our school-age students right now, today, will be working in a job that doesn't even exist today. We know that's probably true, even though that's hard to imagine, 65%, but we think about Google, Twitter, Facebook, all of those things that didn't exist 10 years ago, 12 years ago, that now are employing a ton of people. So it's, we don't know what the future brings, and we have to be nimble. We have to be innovative. It's the key to the success. So you never know who's going to be the person who finds that next greatest thing. Could be you, right? You could be just like this guy, who all of a sudden came up with this social media idea to get people to talk to each other. And what a success. So what we really want to focus on is viewing things differently, viewing golf in a different way so that we know we're doing everything we can to grow the game, grow it at our facility, grow it nationally. And we're continuing to be nimble, to adapt, and be relevant moving into the future.